Welcome to the Affluent Sales Minute. In our continuing series on pipeline management using our most recent Affluent research, we're going to let the Affluent tell us how persistent you should be in your sales process. Now, we all know we have years of research that tell us the Affluent don't like pushy salespeople. But we also know in our world of selling, if we don't sell, we don't eat. So what are the Affluent telling us? Now, mind you, these are Affluent clients that we watched work their way through the pipeline and become an actual client. So these are Affluent prospects who became Affluent clients. 69.3% said their advisor was just persistent enough. 22% said they weren't persistent at all. 7.3% said they were too persistent. And 1.4% said other, which I have no idea what that means. So let's break this all down. What really that means is not persistent versus too persistent was 3 times more effective. And being just persistent enough was 9 times more effective than being too persistent or pushy. So what's the whole idea here of just persistent enough? Really, it's a catch-22 because there is a fine line between being pushy and just pushy enough, or persistent, or just persistent enough. What we have found is that when you break just persistent enough into 3 components, it really becomes much easier to master this art form. Now, the first component is asking questions. It's all about questions. This is basic rapport building, personal questions about them. Your interest is in them. It's the basic Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people. The second component is then listening. The 80-20 rule of listening is active. You're listening to their response to your questions, and then you're relating another question relative to what you've heard in the conversation, their response. And when you really, really listen, most Affluent prospects are going to tell you how to sell your services. And that leads us to the third component, the mini close. You suggest, they comply. It might be the simple suggestion as, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee to discuss this, to a little more of a business suggestion. So, hey, can I make a suggestion? Why don't you stop by the office so we can take a thorough investigation into all this? To, why don't we get this paperwork out of the way so we can get started? Again, this is basic human psychology. You suggest, they comply. You suggest, they comply. A pattern is established. Now, mastering this just persistent enough is truly an art form that requires practice. So get a peer, role play, and get good feedback. But my bet is that if you practice, you too can master this art form of being just persistent enough. Bye for now.